Major bullish news out of Tether. 15% of their net operating profits will be going to purchase Bitcoin. Welcome back, everyone. Some pretty bullish news coming out of Tether. We heard some speculation about this a couple of days ago, but now it's official. It was actually released on their website today. So let's dive into it. Tether to further strengthen reserves through purchase of Bitcoin with realized net operating profits. Tether International Limited, the company managing the reserves of the first and most widely used stablecoin, announced today its latest investment strategy aimed at further strengthening its reserves portfolio. Starting this month, Tether will regularly allocate up to 15% of its net realized operating profits towards purchasing Bitcoin BTC. Tether anticipates that the current and future BTC holdings in its reserves will not exceed the shareholder capital cushion and will further strengthen and diversify the reserves. That all sounds wonderful, right? It's just typical business speak. As of the end of March 2023, Tether already held approximately $1.5 billion US in BTC in its reserves. Tether's purchase is part of its conservative and prudent approach to investment decisions aimed at strengthening, increasing, and diversifying its reserves. By implementing this framework, Tether aims to enhance transparency and provide a clearer view of the company's performance and capital allocation strategy. Again, wonderful business words. The decision to invest in Bitcoin, the world's first and largest cryptocurrency, is underpinned by its strength and potential as an investment asset, said Paulo Ardoino, CTO of Tether. Bitcoin has continually proven its resilience and has emerged as a long-term store of value with substantial growth potential. Among the other small investments performed with its own capital, Tether Group is focusing on building communication through peer-to-peer technologies like hole punch, energy, and Bitcoin mining infrastructure. So I know that, a lot of people, Bitcoiners specifically, obviously, are very happy to hear this news from Tether. To me, actually, it's really about that last line about investing in the Bitcoin infrastructure, in mining infrastructure and energy. Because I really think that that's where the major breakthroughs are going to come. Now, okay, so let's back it up, right? Let's back it up. A lot of Tether FUD that goes out. A lot of shitcoiners that believe that essentially, every time, quote unquote, Tether gets printed, they're getting ready to raise the price of Bitcoin, right? So there's this shitcoiner narrative that goes essentially that, oh, the more Tether they print, the higher the Bitcoin price goes. So I think that, and again, this is going to be my simplistic understanding of Tether. I've done a lot of research on Tether, but to make it as simple as possible, it's this, right? Using Tether allows you to keep money that, or we'll say Bitcoin that you've sold. Okay, so you've sold this Bitcoin for Tether, and you now get to hold Tether instead, which is a peg to the US dollar. Now, why would you do this? You would do this if you were a trader and you didn't want to incur the cost of selling your Bitcoin. So by selling your Bitcoin for Tether, it never comes back into the traditional financial system, does not become a taxable event. All that's happening is that you're simply swapping it over into Tether until you can buy back more Bitcoin, as a person who is doing this may believe, at a lower price. So in my eyes, if Tether were to disappear from one day to the next, I don't give a shit. I really don't. So because the printing of Tether has nothing to actually do with Bitcoin, right? If Tether were to go away, blocks would still be mined. People would still be transacting using Bitcoin. Now, granted, I'm not going to, keep my head in the sand and be like, well, it's not going to do anything. Of course, there is a lot of trading volume. Bitcoin is seen as an opportunity, right? There's a lot of people in the traditional financial system that see Bitcoin's volatility and understand that that volatility can be opportunity. So if a stable peg like Tether were to go away, I do believe that we would end up seeing some type of price pressure, some fiat exchange price pressure on Bitcoin. but it would just be temporary. It would still be a nothing burger in the grand scheme of things. I mean, what would really happen? Bitcoin traders would just simply find another stable coin that they can use. And if one isn't sufficient currently on the market, they're going to find another one. And with the amount of, well, one that will eventually come out, right? Because that will end up becoming a vacuum, and someone is going to need to fill that space, or a company is going to need to fill that space, because there's going to be an opportunity there to make money, as we've seen with Tether. So, yeah. So to me, I mean, look, this is obviously good news. Don't trust, verify. That's just, that's just typical, right? So it's great that Tether says all of these things. This news sounds absolutely fantastic. But at the end of the day, unless you can verify what they are actually holding, it's just a bunch of nice words. Now, granted, Tether did mention in the statement that they do believe in not your keys, not your coin, and they claim to be taking full possession of their Bitcoin. They are not using a custodian. So I'm assuming that at some point we're going to be able to check the address and see what they actually hold. Not that it makes a difference, but if you're a company and you're talking about proof of reserves, then unfortunately you have to prove your reserves, because you're telling people that you have proof of reserves. So you need to make a best effort to actually show that with the most transparency possible. Anyways, I do think that this is good news. Overall, I just don't like to make heroes out of every single corporation and everybody doing anything around Bitcoin, because as we've already seen in the last 13, 14 years, your heroes tend to disappoint you. So, yeah, no heroes. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, and I will catch you all tomorrow.